Welcome to Give Yourself Grace. I'm your host, Grace Perry, and I am so thrilled you're here. As a content creator and coach, I've built a six-figure business to help women step into their power and share their stories with the world. My mission is to empower you to embrace your unique journey and every season this life has to offer. If you crave entertainment, guidance, and tools to transform your reality, you have come to the right place. So come with me on this adventure and truly give yourself the grace that you deserve. Let's dive into the show.
Okay, we're back! Yeah! I want to shit the one, the only, Chelsea Renee, the ceremonial CEO, is a visionary leader devoted to creating sacred spaces where transformation, self-leadership, and community connection flourish. She is in the house today on Give Yourself Grace. My coach, my mentor, my bestie, I just adore you so much. And I really want to nail this home because this is her newest bio, and I just have to read this because it is so powerful. She is stepping into some freaking insanely epic things. So here we go. Ready? As the owner of Heart-Centered Humans, she curates immersive experiences that help women reconnect with their truth, power, and purpose. I am a living, breathing example of someone who has experienced this with her, so I can be a testimonial to that. She is the creator of FEMPIRE, the business summit for wild-hearted female entrepreneurs, and a sought-after mentor for space holders and heart-centered leaders ready to embody their highest potential. She's a founder and CEO of Ascend Psychedelics, a company raising the standards of psychedelic facilitation and education. We're going to dive deep into that today. She's blending somatics, altered states of consciousness, energy work, and strategy. Chelsea guides clients to turn visionary dreams into tangible realities. Yes, queen!
Yes, queen!
Through her approach to soul business coaching, she helps entrepreneurs build thriving businesses that align with their essence, intuition, aligned action, and deeper purpose. Whether through her retreats, masterminds, or intimate ceremonial spaces, she facilitates deep rewilding, embodiment, and inner transformation. And as a new mama, she's committed to modeling a beautifully integrated life where motherhood and entrepreneurship thrive in harmony, proving that success is not about doing more, but about being fully, unapologetically you.
Damn, that sounds good when you read it. I'm really cool.
That is like, I think so. A pretty freaking badass. Like, oh my God, Chelsea, where to begin with you? There's just so much here. First of all, you've been through so much, you've done so much, and your business journey and your business story is such like just a testament to your heart. And I think that is like just what makes you so fucking divine, delicious, and sexy, and all the things that make up your business. And I really want to start where it all began. Can you bring us through your business journey a little bit? And really share anything that comes to mind that you want to really inspire the audience with.
Yeah, my business journey really started with a personal development like breakdown journey. I think that a lot of people might resonate with feeling so disconnected from who they are and their purpose. And I was really, really depressed, really sad. I just knew, I'm like, this isn't who I am. I would cry after work every day. My husband and I we worked at the same job, and so he got off an hour later, and I would sit in the car, drink beer, and cry. And I was like, I just know that this is not it. I know this is not what I'm meant to do. I know I'm meant for more. And so it really was this moment where like the line in the sand, like, I'm not going to allow this anymore. I'm going to choose a different way. I quit my job. I started meditating daily, and I started just like taking care of myself. And that was really my only priority. I was not like, let me start a business. Let me start a thing. I was like, let me just like feel baseline happy. Like, I just can't feel like this anymore. It was getting to a scary space. And so I finally, started feeling so confident in myself and started to really pour into myself. And once my cup felt so full, yes. I got this download. Like, I literally heard like someone speak to me, so, the divine essence speak to me, source energy. saying host a women's circle. And this is back when like that was not common at all. And I was like, what the fuck is a women's circle? I'm like, I guess I'll gather some women together and I guess we'll sit in a circle. Like I literally had no concept of it. And so I invited women into my home and I started hosting like a full moon's women's circle, and it just started to like steamroll from there. And I know like you are in intimate spaces with me, so you've really heard about how I was only looking one step ahead. I was only like, oh, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And I think that really allowed me to be guided by source energy and just be like, oh, this is what's meant for you, instead of like being like, oh, like let me think like 10 years out. I was just like, what's a couple months out? Like, and that led to my first retreat. That led to women in the women's circle being like, can you coach me? Yes. That led to me, I started like getting certified in a bunch of different modalities, just honestly at first for my own exploration for my own self. And then it turned out like, oh, I do want to support people in this. And I had already had an extensive experience space holding in psychedelic capacities, but I had never done like breath work and like other experiences like that. And so other somatic like movement and other experiences. And so it just steamrolled into hosting retreats and all of the things that you see me do now.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that quote by Steve Jobs where it's like you can't connect the dots until after. And it's like every part of your journey or something like that, but every part of your journey, even just as you were talking about it, really connects to what you've created. Mm-hmm. And it's so cool that you can bring in, so I've done Chelsea's breath work. I'm in her mastermind, her and Caitlin's mastermind. I'm now a panelist on FEMPIRE. Like she's just been breathing life into me, and I've been able to experience and witness your ability to mentor, and it's so beautiful, and to be able to tap into all of those pieces is so important. Mm-hmm. And I think for listeners right now, it's like I always say, like you can use your lived experience, like start when you're not necessarily ready, because your lived experience is often what will help you to move forward. And we take that with you, and of course if you have a bunch of certifications and some fun fancy things, that like even helps even more. Mm-hmm. But just educating yourself first and like using your lived experience to help others, and that is literally what you do. So I love your movement, which is what I'm going to call it, the heart-centered movement, the Ceremonial CEO, and I just admire it so much, and it's really inspired me in my journey too, because so often than not, as you're in these events and these experiences, you're not just coaching, you're healing. You're creating spaces for women to just be, to exist. Mm-hmm. And I just love that. And I it's the same thing with me when I bring out the cameras, right? It's like, oh shit, here's the mirror to all of the insecurity and the self-doubt. And I just love how you're so focused on self-love. And that is just, so beautiful. So you mentioned a lot of things. And I think for some of our listeners, they might be really new to this, right? This, what people like to call woo-woo space. We are woo-woo baddies, okay? It's not just woo-woo, it's healing, it's ceremonial practices, right? It's rituals, it's containers, community. And so I want to dive in a little bit to your newest endeavor, which is Ascend Psychedelics. Mm-hmm. And what's amazing right now is, of course, it's now legal in Colorado, and it has been. Colorado's been at the forefront, not just for marijuana, but for psychedelics. And you are literally trailblazing this literal business, but also facilitation and certification program. Mm-hmm. So tell our listeners what the hell that is.
Yeah, so Ascend is really a love letter to everyone that is like being called to psychedelics. Mm-hmm. I've been working in the field now for 17 plus years, and I knew that there is just no way that I was going to be able to hold space for everybody. And so what I can do though is support facilitators who are called to this path to be so well resourced, so educated, so steeped in reverence that they provide the safest space possible to participants. And so myself and this incredible team that I've brought together, all women, all facilitators that have like minimum 10 years of experience in the field, creating over 500-hour training program that's over a year. And yeah, it's really magical. The women are incredible. and we are excited to start training people and supporting them on their own path, becoming facilitators.
So what's the next phase for that? Because I'm also asking, because I am 1,000% applying and joining, and if I can, like, take my money right now. If I'm being fully transparent with you guys, psychedelics have hands down changed my life just as much as these communities and my coaches have. Like, I have put myself in rooms, and I have been somewhat of a shaman for a lot of my friends. And even like through psychedelics, I've kind of realized that. I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I was just so called to mushrooms and LSD and different types of modalities that have like literally rewired my brain and allowed me to be who I am today in many capacities, and just realizing new perspective shifts that have allowed me to be more confident and step into this business and even this podcast. And so, how do people apply? Like, what does that process look like?
So right now we have right now we are still in process with the state. It's been an interesting process, but it will all get done. How to apply is we'll have, an application available. Right now there is a wait list, and we have like nearly 50 people on our wait list, which is exciting, especially since we're going to have intimate cohorts, because I think, in the other work, all of the work that I do, I really want to create like safe, loving, intimate spaces. And so that's just something that's on my heart. And apply. We'll have an interview process to make sure that it feels really aligned for both sides, because that's important for us. It's not just a yes on our end, it's a yes on everyone's end, because this is it's a collective, and it's also like this is a commitment. It's once a week, like we're meeting in person for an entire year. Like, we're doing ceremony together. Amazing. We are growing in inconceivable ways, even to me at this moment. And so it's going to be incredible. And I can't wait until we are officially approved by the state, so we can offer this to people. And we also will be offering ceremony. We will also have psychedelic education. So if your mom is like, what the heck is this? Like, we'll have those different things. I've actually had people in my world like, my son is exploring psychedelics and I don't know, I'm kind of freaking out, like, and have come to me because they know what I do, and they're like, can you give me some perspective? And so we'll have education on all fronts. We'll also have microdosing support and education, and just want to support people.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Definitely how to grow them. I'm like so into that.
That is something that we won't have at this moment, but we do have resources. We have people in my field that go into growing your own. And so we're working on building that in. And even like we have a breathwork certification built in. We have sound healing certification built in. We're working on integrating some somatic movement certifications into it as well. And so like we want somebody to come into this program and leave extremely prepared as a facilitator, because the thing is too, psychedelics are incredible and I love them, obviously, and you don't always need the medicine to experience this incredible healing. And often more than not, like, some people are overusing medicine because they think that is the way. And so we also want to provide these facilitators this ability to have so many resources where they can support people. It's like, here's the medicine work, and then here's all other altered states of consciousness work where we can tap into the frequency of medicine and not have to actually ingest it and get the same results.
Oh my God, I love this so much. I think that is such a profound thought, because so many people, like, just like you said, but even with breath work, like, I have literally felt like I was tripping out during one of your sessions. Like, I'm just laying there, right? And Chelsea has given us cacao, which is just a naturally grown chocolate bean, essentially, right?
It's just the core of chocolate.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm sitting there breathing because and Chelsea's doing her sound healing. Like, it was just next level. Like, I was completely sober, but I'm feeling like I had made a profound shift and had gotten messages and downloads. And I think that is like using these tools, so breath work, sound healing, like looking in your area 4 modalities that you can experiment with, so that when you're, ready or interested in exploring psychedelics, you're ready and you have a whole toolkit that can really help you anchor in to that emotion, because a lot of things come through. And I think facilitation, that is what brings the magic and the safety and support. And God, it's just like, the amount of people I've talked to that have had bad trips and they never want to touch them again.
Yeah.
Because it was so much or too much, or they took, it's just like overwhelming. And so I think it's just so amazing what you do, and that work is so needed. I want to go into, which is kind of like the mirror of what's, psychedelics are, but intuitive guidance, right? So a lot of these modalities, what you're doing is you're tapping into yourself, and you're tapping into your ability to communicate with spirit, divine, whatever you believe in, but also to understand and rewire the narrative that's in your head. So talk to me about your journey with your intuition. I would really love to know how you started listening to that divine voice in your head. I know you mentioned it here, but how are you really cultivating that now today, especially in your mentorship?
So I think that I want to share too, there might be some of you out there listening that feel disconnected from your intuition. And I want to share that you actually probably have already had really profound experiences with your intuition, but they might have felt scary or confronting, or, oh gosh, like I don't want to do that thing because that's uncomfortable, that's new, or that's unknown. And so you've dimmed it. And so I think back to, sharing even at the beginning of this episode about my, I was drinking so much, and that was also like a suppression of my intuition. That was a suppression. I was like, oh, I don't want to listen to the truth of who I am. If you feel like in every quiet moment that you have, that you are reaching for cannabis or reaching for a beer or doing something like that, that also might be an indicator that you are actually scared to sit alone with yourself. And that could also indicate other things, but that being alone with yourself is where that intuition comes. So first, on that journey of just honestly slowing down immensely, starting to tap into practices where I could have this conversation. And I go like this because it's divine, and also intuition, the intuition is the divine within you. And so, and then there's also you can receive downloads, and that feels more outside of you, that's coming through. And I feel like there's a difference, but they're also very similar. So it's also why I go like that. But how I cultivated a relationship with my intuition was slowing down and allowing myself to listen to it. Intuition is quiet. So you have to get quiet yourself to listen to it. You have to be like, hey, what's going on in there? You have to open the door. It's like a conversation that you would have with anybody. You have to sit and be in conversation with it. And the next part too, it's let's say your intuition shares something with you and you don't act on it. Well, your intuition's probably not going to be oh, let me just keep being loud. It's going to be well, this bitch isn't even listening. It will still be there, but it's not going to be as loud. So the more that you listen to your intuition and act on those nudges that you're getting from the universe, the louder it gets. And so I was sharing at the beginning, I just, source kept placing things right in front of me, and I was like, okay, take me, lead me where you want me. Yes. And because of that, now it feels so second nature. It just feels so easy. Here's an instance that happened yesterday where I was like, damn, this is what life feels. And I'm and this is so simple. I'm this is what life can be like, Yeah. My son, I have a little baby, and he had grabbed the remote and turned the TV on and was he just had it turned on, and he ran away with the remote. And so I was trying to find the remote to turn it off, and I was I like did like a walk around the house like, where's the remote, and then like all of a sudden like I looked down and I was like, oh, there's something I need to fix. And like typically I try to stay on task, but I was like, let me go down and fix the thing. And I looked down, and then for some reason my head turned to the left, and it was I could see the remote, that it was wedged under this like thing. And that's all like that. Those kinds of things happen to me all the time. Like for instance, I left town, I couldn't find my keys anywhere, and I was like, oh, whatever, I don't need them, I'm leaving town. And Joe, you know, it's all fine. And Joe's like, I didn't find your keys. I got home and I was like, where's my keys? And immediately, I didn't even think, it just like my body just walked me to one of my coats, and I literally put my hand in the pocket. It took like 1 second for me to find these keys. And those are the kinds of things, it's like when you just let yourself like trust.
Yes.
It's the self-trust. It's like, I know it's gonna happen. I know I'm gonna find the things. I know, like, and you know, take it beyond finding lost items.
Yeah.
But like when you also bring it into business and mentorship and leading other people, like really like when things just like come into my mind or come into my heart, I'm just like, oh, let me just share these. And I don't even know sometimes if like that's gonna be the thing, but usually like it really is. And so I continue to trust those things. And when I'm sharing something where I think this is the last part too, it's like sometimes, especially like with breathwork ceremonies, like a lot of intuitive stuff, a lot of channeling is coming through. And so often at the beginning I could be like, that's fucking weird, I'm not gonna say that, like that's odd, like, and when I just started being like, you know what, I'm just gonna say it, I don't even know, like this doesn't make sense. And then I would get reflections from like clients being like, oh my God, that was for me, like that, and like I even had like a client way back in the day, and this is always something so like on my heart. I'm also very intentional with curating the playlist. So I will like sit the day of, and I'm like, I'm curating the playlist based off the energy, based off the people who've said yes. And I sit down, I'm like spirit, like bring me the songs that are meant for me, like meant for this experience, not for me, for everyone. And I had a one-on-one client in the past, and for some reason, like The Rose by Bette Midler, you know that song?
Yes,
it's
I think
like
so.
Like Kitty, like that's a bizarre song for a breathwork. Yeah. Wouldn't you imagine?
Yes.
And so I was like, I don't know why. And I don't even know this song very well. I don't even know this song. It's not like something I grew up with. I'm like, I don't know why this song like keeps coming to me. And I was like, I'll put this in. And this one-on-one client was like, I can't tell you, like this was my song growing up. Like this was a song that like she had sung in like you know, performances, and it had a connection with her grandma, like all of these things. And she's like, and I'm getting like massive chill, like wait, and this is also my intuition and the divine speaking to me. Like I'm clairsentient, so I feel things.
Yes.
I'm claircognizant, so like information just drops in. And so like when I'm feeling things, it's like, oh, that is the ultimate highest truth that is being spoken. And so even with that song, like I put that in, and I would have like, that is the weirdest thing to put in. And if I was like looking at it objectively, and afterwards it made so much sense. So I've had also confirmation over and over again that allows me to go, oh, I don't have to know. I just have to trust. And then I sometimes get evidence afterwards of, oh yeah, that is why. And also I don't need the evidence anymore, because I also have this, you know, unwavering belief that like if it happens, it was meant to happen. And you know, some people could call it like toxic positivity, but I feel like it's seeing opportunity everywhere, and even in the no's, even in the, you know, whatever. So I'm constantly like, oh, like it was meant to happen, and I don't need to know why it was meant to happen. I don't need my human self to like just like you know, place knowledge and knowing on things that are meant to be unknown and ethereal. I release that controlling, because that's some like the control and like, I need to know, I need to figure this out, I need to know why, like really deprives myself, the world, of so much magic. And so I also am like, I don't know why that I did that. It needed to happen, and I'm gonna just trust. And sometimes things that I did that made no sense, like it makes sense like 6 months later or a year later, and you're like, oh, that's why.
Yes.
And so like that's also like really trusting in that it like, it's trusting in that like the divine orchestration, you know? because it's like you are like, if you're allowing yourself to be moved by the divine source, God, whatever, however you want to talk, like to how you want to relate to it. Like if you allow yourself to be moved, then you see that you are actually just like being that divine God for other people.
Yes.
And so that's, yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Oh, that was so beautiful. The divine orchestration too, I think we can connect on like an entrepreneurial level because there's so much surrender and just like taking a chance. Like literally just knowing like, okay, I'm going to put this out into the world and someone's going to buy it or someone's going to be interested in it. And I think like knowing, even like in corporate America, there's these divine orchestrations of maybe even a push to get out of it or, you know, a calling to do something different. And so I think that is just such a beautiful way of putting it. It's like knowing in your body, and it starts small.
It starts so small.
So small. Like even just getting quiet and allowing yourself to be and to see and be like, okay, how is my body feeling? Or, you know, what do I think about this?
Yeah. I think like on that too, I think probably everyone might have had an experience where they were getting some like little bit of information and they're like, oh, and they don't act on it. And then it gets louder.
Yes.
And then it gets like, you know, like, ooh, like I need to do something with this. And then something happens. Like I've had that experience with clients where it's like, oh man, I should have listened. I should have listened when I first got that, like that intuition. And so that's also like, sometimes intuition gets louder when it's like, hey, you really need to listen to me. And what you were just saying about corporate, like, man, so many people that in my world got like fired or laid off. And it's like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. But really it's the start of the like best beginning ever.
Yes.
And so that's again like the kind of, you know, opportunistic mindset that I have of like, you know what, it's all happening and it's all meant for some higher path that we don't need to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that orchestration is just so beautiful, and there's so much just safety and love in that. There have been things, and I'm sure many listeners can relate, like things that you can't explain that happen that you're just like, okay, is this a sign? Like it is, I think as you go down these journeys, you're like even more open to receiving these signs because oftentimes it gives you a message that you need to know. And I've just been really open to any message, any divine intervention, and like even meeting you. I really think like the things were aligned, and I've like even experienced that and had that message come to me of like, these people have been placed for a reason, and you're meant to meet them and work with them and just grow with them, which is so cool. And I wanted to say just one thing, if you're new to intuition, what's really fascinating is think about like when you first started driving a car, right? So like you went to driver's ed, or maybe your dad taught you or whatever it is, right? And you're like freaking out. Like I remember my driving instructor was like, all right, we're gonna get on the highway. So I'm like in the car, right, holding on for dear life. He's like, merge, it's like a plane, take off. He's like yelling at me. It was so much.
That sounds a little
and
crazy.
I was like, ah! Holding on for dear life, and I merged. We survived. Anyways, but like crazy, right? You're like so anxious. You're stressed out. You're like checking all your mirrors. You know, when you like trying to parallel park, all those things. As you get older and as you become more advanced, you don't even think about it. Like you get in your car, you turn the key on, like you're not consciously thinking about every move you make. Your body is doing 90% of the work. If anything, half the time I'm freaking like, this is bad, and you know, Mom, if you're listening, don't be mad at me, but like I'm like multitasking.
Mom, mute for
I'm like drinking my coffee, right? You know, I'm like, you know, one hand. But so I share this with you because I think your intuition, like knowing that your body is oftentimes controlling 90% of what you do on a daily basis without you even realizing it. And this is why we struggle with our habits, with our health, and our mindset, because we've allowed our body to just continue to exist without controlling and being really mindful of those actions. And so if you're just turning in and like tuning in and listening to your intuition, it really starts with being mindful of how your body is responding and controlling you, literally. But so good. I love it all the time. So, okay, so let's dive into your mentorship practice. So not only is Chelsea a freaking badass coach and mentor, she's literally hosting retreats and experiences and events. And one that is now on a not like quarterly, semi-quarterly basis. You have 2 a year, right? Or
Yeah, 2 a year.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So 2 events every year, and this is something that you can literally attend to be in the magic. We are about to talk about FEMPIRE. So talk to me about how the heck you were just like, okay, let's create events, because so many people are like so afraid to start events and retreats and experiences, and not to mention conferences, conferences with hundreds of people. So.
Yeah. So this was like a nudge from the universe. I had this like, I wanna host like a summit. Like I wanna host a summit, and like I kept thinking that, and I was like, you know what, like I can keep it really easy, like an online summit where there's like no risk, also not very much reward usually. Like nice and like easy.
Yes.
And I even like, this was in like October 2023 is when I first had that like thought, and I was like, ooh, maybe and I even like talked to some coaches. I thought, I'm gonna do this, like I'm gonna do this wild woman entrepreneur summit. And I like even told some coaches like, I want you to speak at this, and then I just kept being like, it's not right, I know it's not right. And I was pregnant at the time, and too, so like my thought was like, maybe I'll do it like right before I give birth. And I'm like, that's not the move. I'm like, and that's also like intuition sometimes is like, wait, like listen, like keep gathering information. Like the Ceremonial CEO experience that I'm offering right now, like that's also was like a very like, let me like get the juice, like I needed to wait to allow things to land in a certain way. And so same thing with FEMPIRE. And finally, I had started really connecting with Caitlin, that Grace knows, and she's an incredible human that I love. And I started connecting more with her, and I just kept telling her, I'm like, I have this idea, and like want to do this. And I was like, well, I'm kind of thinking maybe it's in person, like maybe it's an in-person summit. And I've always been an in-person person in general. I feel like that's where I thrive. I feel like my energy can be felt a lot more there.
Yes.
I feel like online just has not yet captured the deep essence that I bring into spaces and the ways that I see and coach people. So that was the other thing. I'm like, I want to do something in person. And we just like kept talking about it, and I kept like having this like, I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and she's like, sure, like sure, okay, lady. And we were just also like just starting our friendship too, so it wasn't, she was also like, okay, this lady, whatever. I actually went to an in-person experience, one that we both went to, and I don't even know what it was. Like some things one of the speakers said, yes, at Powerhouse Women. One speaker said something.
And we didn't even know each other yet.
Mm-hmm. I wish I had. This bitch is the coolest. Like, I don't think
feelings mutual.
I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, Grace is the best. And I was just, like, one of the speakers said, and I just like, I'm doing it. I was like, I'm freaking doing it. And I literally, right in that moment, this is about, like, I talk about aligned action all the time, and this is like one of those moments. I picked up my phone, I texted Caitlin, and I said, listen, I'm doing this summit in person. I'm going to pick the date like today, and you're either coming with me or not. I'm like, so you let me know. Like, you're either doing this or not. And she texted back, she's like, okay, I'm in.
Love.
And I was like, yes, like, it's happening. And that was, like, that moment was 3 months before the summit actually happened.
Wow.
And we sold out, like, oversold a little bit. We had 70 women in the room. And I only had 2 months, like, of the actual, like, it took me a month to, like, get the location and get, like, the things going before I was like, okay, it's happening. So yeah, it was honestly just trusting and aligned action.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now they're so successful. You've grown to over 100 people.
Yes.
You have panelists, speakers, you're doing twice a year, and like, just, for anyone who has not done an event, and maybe you're listening and you have hosted events, it's a lot of work. Think like wedding, but like steroids, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a full day, just like a wedding is, or like more, it's like a half wedding, I would say, because you have the reception, then or the ceremony, the reception. You've got a whole day that you have to fill with magic and value and connection. Mm-hmm. And you do it so well.
Thank you.
So cool. We're going to put in the show notes all the information on FEMPIRE, and just know that whenever you're listening to this, there will most likely be one coming up.
Yes.
Or coming near you. So
there will be.
Yes.
Get your ass in the room, queen.
Yes.
Yeah, I think what's like what I love about FEMPIRE too that's really special, like obviously the speakers, the panelists, like the information, the wisdom is so special, but there's really something about like sitting in a room with a bunch of women who have like this, like, I am taking my business seriously. I am ready to grow.
Yes.
I am ready to learn. And so like, it's not even about like what, like the things that I'm providing. It's actually about the people that you're sitting beside.
Yes.
And I know so many people in my life who like, I'm like, oh, where did you two meet? Like deep, incredible biz bestie friendships. And they always met at some live like event or conference. And I'm like, oh my God, it's insane. And so I think that that's something to speak about, just the level of woman that comes, and so the level of friendships that are created from that space, and of course the collaborations, like you know, we always are encouraging women, like, how can you support each other, how can you be referrals for each other, how can you create something together so both of you can grow. And I think Caitlin and I are a huge testament of that too. Of like, I mentored a lot of retreat host creators, and I was telling them that I was like, listen, start collaborating with people. All of these retreat hosts, like, they wanted to host like 12 18, 20 person retreats, but they could only, like, they were only getting 6 people. I'm like, well, have you thought of collaborating and like making, like, you know, bringing in your networks and also bringing in like both of your magic that's creating a much more even powerful container. And then I was like, okay, this is what I want to do myself. And so, Caitlin and I have created some incredible magic together. Totally. Obviously with the mastermind, you already know.
Yes, and we're going to put all that in the show notes as well. But I think you speak so perfectly to that, like the energetic frequency of when women get together. Mm-hmm. It's something that I really did not understand to the fullest. Like, I've always had girlfriends, I've always had just friends in my life, but the energetic frequency that is elevated when women who want more for themselves are together is like, it's next level. It's like you hear of rituals, like, and you know, witchcraft at a young age, or like, you know, you hear of like the Salem witchcraft trials and all these things, and it's like, even in the early days of our friggin' country, when women got together, it was intimidating for powerful people. And so it's like something that is so sacred, and even to this day, like, you don't have to be practicing witchcraft to make magic. And I think when it comes to these community spaces, that's what really has changed lives. And so getting in the room is so important. And that's why I really wanted you to share about FEMPIRE, because it's an opportunity for anyone listening to get in the room, be around amazing humans, and make friendships and really grow together, which is so cool.
And of course, we have the most incredible production team ever.
I'm so excited. We'll be capturing.
And she'll be one of the panelists.
I'm so excited.
You best get your booty in the room.
It's crazy because not only am I working with you for mentorship and coaching, but like, this is what mentorship should be like, right? It's like you start collaborating and forming friendships, and like you are pushing me in ways and expanding me in ways that I never thought possible. And so we're just so excited to be capturing FEMPIRE. It's gonna be insane. You gotta be there. I want to like shake my booty to the camera. I'm like dying. But anyway, so much. Thank you so much. I want to ask you now. You've shared so much of what you do, and not only that, are you a mama? You're a wife. You're, you know, sister, daughter, all the things. How are you giving yourself grace in this moment?
How I give myself grace is just constantly trusting myself and not like, I know we talked about this a little bit before, but just like, I just know that whatever I do is perfect, and like, I don't need to put pressure on it. And I also feel like part of giving myself grace too is like really reminding myself that I'm a human over and over again, and I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to just be myself. And so anytime I feel any like semblance of like, ooh, I'm trying to like control or put myself or like, you know, be this thing, I'm like, ooh, let's just like breathe, sit back and allow myself to be. And I know that that's where the most juice will come from.
Yes.
I think I'm also been like giving myself grace in, you know, especially being a new mom, there can be so many like layers of like mom guilt that can come up. And I I will admittedly say that I have not experienced any of that because I'm, you know me, I literally only leave my son to do the Denver mastermind. And so like I am a very present there mama.
Yes.
And, but I have noticed like even just thinking forward of what's going to be happening in the next upcoming years, like, I want to make sure my priorities stay my priorities. And so I'm also been giving myself grace in the, just like the visioning of like what things can look like. And I think like releasing that, like not the need, but like the desire to do everything and knowing that I am the best mom just because of who I am, and that I don't need to physically be there every moment to be the best mom still too. And so that has been like a little bit of an unwinding, because now like I'm looking at, I want to start hosting retreats again, because I have paused that for a little bit being a mom, and I'm ready. I'm like, I'm ready for the next retreat. And the things like that of like, okay, like it will all happen, and it can all happen perfectly.
So powerful.
And perfectly perfect.
And such a permission slip for all the mamas out there, and anyone who wants to be a mama who's questioning their path too. And I think I have a lot of fear around that too, of if I have children, if and when, right, what that looks like. And so thank you for sharing and just being that permission slip, because you can have it all. You can have your cake and you can eat it too.
Oh my God.
I love that so much. So thank you. Well, thank you, Chelsea, for being here today. I could talk to you for like 8 more days.
I know. I'm like, how much time has passed?
I know.
Like, it felt like 10 minutes because I love being with you.
I love being with you too. This is the first of many. Chelsea will be gracing the Give Yourself Grace many times, but I just really appreciate you and love you so much. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, make sure you connect with Chelsea. We'll put all of her information in the show notes. Come to FEMPIRE, check out Ascend Psychedelics, and stay tuned because Chelsea is just getting started. Just getting started.
I love it.
Thank you so much for listening. Your support means everything to me. If you found this episode inspiring, please share it on your social media and tag me. I'd love to thank you personally. And as always, sending you love and rooting for you. See you in the next episode.